we're going to talk a little bit about what these people are doing. So, apparently, very few, maybe 0.1% of the people participating in this little arrangement really have any interest in talking about reality and what's really going on. In a handful, you can count the number of politicians who will really get down to the nitty-gritty. Alright, I just want this to act as a multi-universal disclaimer. Because I mention people, I mention ideas, I mention articles that I might not necessarily endorse everything about everything that I'm saying. I'm just talking about it. So I'm posting this short segment just to say that I'm looking at anything. I'll look at anything. And that's the only way that we can evolve, is if we look at every source and continue. That's the whole issue with most of the corrupt establishment media right now, is that they don't look at everything. Look at everything, talk about everything. The network of minds, hearts, bodies, consciousness, all different parts of the complex. By paying less for food that is GMO, genetically modified, and full of all different chemicals that may be cancer causing, it's not that big of a deal, because if you eat it, you save money. You know, you'll save like $30 a month, or maybe like 50, maybe even $100 a month. And with that money, you'll be able to buy like a 50-pack of Doritos. So you're going to be eating more. So overall, you'll be better off. See that? You see? So really none of everything that is getting complained about, all of this activism and, you know, dancing at Jefferson Memorial, and yeah, I mean, come on, you're gonna get pissed at the police for tasing you? What do you think it's their fault? You think it's their fault. But more and more, it literally feels like this interface right here that's the real game. This is the world game. And, you know, we've still got our joysticks, we've still got our mouse, our mice, our keyboards, our control panels for this. I mean, I'm operating multiple control panels just to make this transmission occur. So it's so much more satisfying to play a game that is connected to the true nature of existence, rather than this illusory kind of overlayer that tricks us into thinking that it's real and just has no effect. So it's like, if we're going to be playing a game, why not have it have an actual effect? But then, I guess, you know, it's not everything's so serious. It's sometimes playing games is necessary for relaxation and, you know, to get away from all of the chaos of the world game. But there are ways that on that micro level immense changes can occur during the game. I know some chess matches I've experienced have really influenced me. Secretaries are meant to keep and tell secrets. A secretary. It's going to be short and sweet. Consider that linguistic observation. Secretaries. Right? what's that doing there? Not being looked at by corrupt establishment media, obviously. But we are on the brink and in the full transmutation into a free energy world. And once we have that, then everybody's living in abundance. Then we don't have to, then, you know, $400 a month, you're not paying oil bills. You're not paying for electricity. I mean, you're paying for, you throw down for a ECAT for your basement, or, you know, a magnet engine. You throw down for that, you're good for like 10 years probably. I don't know what exactly the specifics are, but I mean, the water car, come on, Stanley Meyer was murdered. The water cars came out using HHO, came out in the early 80s. Probably earlier than that. And that's not even getting into anti-gravity and that whole world of craft that we know exists. That you look up the Phoenix Lights. I mean, come on. There's a massive craft hovering over Phoenix for like many hours that hundreds of thousands of people saw, including the governor, who now is asking for the truth about it. Countless whistleblowers. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but this is just getting ridiculous. And as Ian said, it's like there's people dying right now. Like, yeah, you know, we deserve to live nice lives, not having to sacrifice all of our time and energy to, you know, responding to people and doing like internet activism and stuff. Every once in a while, we have to give it its time. And so it's, you don't have to do anything, but do you want to? Right? So in terms of, last thought, in terms of the whole left-right thing that people are still stuck in, and that's the big rift at Occupy Wall Street. It's not even really a rift. I mean, people from all dimensions are there together, coming together about Occupy. And that's ultimately what matters, holding the space everywhere. I mean, this is what we did I went to UVM, and we actually got the university to divest from cluster bombs and other weapons. Basically, if you didn't know, your university, if you went to one, or school, or whatever private institution, you may or may not have gone, but has a whole list of investments in the stock market, and half of those are totally corrupt war machine companies, genetically modifying companies, McDonald's, Walmart, all the just total crap. So we occupied space on campus for like weeks, and we got this huge awareness going around, and eventually the school divested. And it was all because we held the space. We just stayed there, and we were in the news for the whole time. I was like, what the hell are these people doing, camping out like in the middle of the school? What are you doing?
It is action. Yeah. Speaking is action. And it's true that we go through these phases of, you know, talk, it's all talk, it's not enough on the ground work to really transform reality. But speaking is incredible, and it's really mostly a matter of who we're speaking to and where we're directing it. So if we're speaking to the same closed circuit continually, then that's obviously not going very many places. But if we're getting on the phone and broadcasting, or here, or whatever, with certain people, putting the media in front of the proper sources that are going to actually instigate some policy change and or policy deletion.
What is in the holographic records? what is in the physical records, what's in the databases, what is a database, what are these different levels of computers that are operating. We have computers that I'm streaming right now, so my movements are being recorded via pixels and sound and pushed through databases and fed to different people, and my language is being tracked and deciphered, extracted with voice recognition programs. Everything is being extracted, and so considering the first use of the word computer was in 1613, and it was a name for a person who does computations, if that was our first use of the word computer, then we acknowledge that humans are computers. Recently, computers have been pushed under us to be these silicon machines and other materials that are below us. They work for us. We build them. But if we're computers, then we're also built. So there are these different grades of cosmic machines. So in that sense, my actions don't need to be going through this filter to be recorded.
We are on a planet, and we are extraterrestrials to other planets. To any other planet, we're an extraterrestrial.
We actually had a hypnotist come to my school in high school and performed on the whole school. And first you go through this meditation for like 20 minutes. At the end of the meditation, he talks about this light that you're holding on to, and he says, wake up, and certain people will have their hands stuck together. And the people who have their hands stuck together are hypnotized. And there are people sitting next to you who would not be doing this to draw attention to themselves normally. But they do it, they can't pull their hands apart, and so we pause everyone up on stage who can't pull their hands apart. And these are just exactly the type of people would never go up on stage, but in just not trying to pretend themselves, humble high schoolers, just kind of shy. And they're stripping down their clothes when the hypnotist tells them to. They're acting like they're a little infant, using like a baby voice, and just acting like they're stuck to a chair. There's one part where he makes everyone literally think that they're launching off in a rocket ship. They get in their chair and they're just and they're not acting. Like there might have been one guy who went down there who was acting just because he thought it was funny, but everyone else was completely entranced. And so Wilcox's assertion is that obviously this is a real phenomenon, and it's not acknowledged nearly enough that we're all in a trance-like state subject to different hypnotists, which are both physical and non-physical entities. There is a mass tendency to over-associate in terms of words, thinking that certain words or ideas or things are inherently negative.
Show me. Where are we going?